Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pro Trade Room Plus Natural Gas Storage. My name is Lee Goldstein, Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. All the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully, please. Okay, we're back again, everybody, and we are here for natural gas. There was just a report. I just want to look at gold real quick. It's called the leading index. Usually it trades with other data, so I don't think it really did very much. It didn't. Let me get my webcam going. All right. So welcome everyone. So we are here for natural gas, and we're trading 0824. And let's take a look at natural gas volume. So I'm going to go to new. I'm going to go to market analyzer. I'm going to bring up my template here. It has the instrument, the daily volume, and days until rollover. I'm going to put on the current instrument, which is 8. And we still have a week until rollover, so we're good. This is the contract we're trading. And natural gas, very bullish today. But natural gas has been, what's the word I could use to explain it? Very unusual commodity. In a market where many of the commodities are making new highs, natural gas started acting like it was going to make new highs. And then if you look at the daily chart, it fell apart. It truly fell apart at the very end of June and back into July. I mean, it gave up tremendous value in terms of the price. So natural gas is very low again, and it's hard to understand why. I mean, when you think about the countries that need natural gas, all the issues that are going on with the commodity itself, I would think that like gold, like oil, like many of the other commodities, natural gas should be going up, not making new lows, and day after day after day getting lower and lower. So it has been a surprising commodity in a world where many of the commodities are going up. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily change the way we trade it. Our setups have gotten smaller because as the price gets lower and lower, the volatility does seem to get lower. Um, our brackets are pretty small. Just in general, natural gas, it's very unusual. That's all I could say. It's very unusual. Let's take a look at the daily trade report. And then let's look at some videos as well. So I want to look at the videos. Last week, let's take a look. How did natural gas trade in the room? All right, so here's the trade for last week. Our brackets go on the chart 2 seconds before the news gets released. And the price shoots down. There was a pretty big build. And if I remember correctly, it did not hit my target. It did not hit my target. That, for us in the room, was not a winning trade. Now, did it actually go through our target and not fill? Let's take a look one more time. Now, did everybody watch that magnet trade? It it hit the high. It did hit the high, but we thought that it would. So the price misses our target just by a tick, it looks like. And then it heads back down. I moved up my target to try and get filled. And no, it stopped us out in the room and it missed by one tick. It missed by one tick. So the breakout did not hit our target. Let's take a look at the beginning of the month, holiday, a holiday trade on natural gas, July 3rd. And that was a noon trade, a very unusual 12 p.m. trade on a Friday. All right. Not the most normal time of day or day to trade natural gas. Brackets go on the chart. And looking at the result, there was again a build that hits the first target. That did hit the target, looks like. Went a little bit further. And it looks like it hit both targets. Came awfully close to that second target. There was a pretty good build. Excuse me. 3 billion cubic feet more than expected. That's not bad. So it had a nice push. It often does change direction after the news is released. So we've looked at two. Let's look at three. June 27th. Explodes to the upside. Now, depending on where you got filled, would have, made the big difference in how many ticks you got. A very strong move. And what's interesting is the news didn't really support that kind of a move. It was only 1 billion cubic feet different from what was expected. Normally, that's not a huge offset. It's not tiny, but it's not huge. Okay? So we have two ways that we consider trading natural gas. Now, it's had three winners in a row. Really, for us in the room, it's 2 out of 3 because we did not get filled last week. It did not hit my target. It was not a winner for us. Now, depending where your orders were put on the chart, it could have hit your target. It's possible. And that's why the analysis sometimes can be a little bit tricky because depending on exactly when your orders get to the chart, it could be a couple of ticks different from somebody else who's trading the same setup. So I'm just going to be looking possibly for a trade after the news. I would say this, that natural gas is trading better, but when you think about it, a lot of times it's a target one winner. Natural gas over the years is a hard instrument to make steady money from. And we do consider it an inconsistent report in general, just as a general rule. It's considered an inconsistent report. It does go through periods where it trades very well, but it also goes through periods where it doesn't trade well at all. Let me see. Give me a second here. I'll show you a variety just for fun. I'll show you some different DMMs. So here's a natural gas DMM back in February, March. Now, that was trading pretty well, 5 out of 6 winners, but look at the size of the moves. Wrong report. Let's back up. Let's get the right port. Ha! Totally different. So in end of February, one winner out of 6. So I stand corrected. I was looking at the Bank of England. My mistake. And we had a note on the DMM. Recently, this report has had unsafe reactions. So you got to be careful. Natural gas not going through a good period beginning of February into March. 6 weeks, only one winner. And if we look at a later DMM, we go into April on the DMM. April, we did not have one winner in this little screenshot. It's really end of February, March. All right, it was the first week in April on the DMM, and we didn't have a single winner. We had a dull one, which you might have been able to get a couple of ticks possible, but basically 2 cancels, 3 stops. So this is my point about natural gas. It it may be going through a decent period now, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a steady, good trader because other than we had one instance where last year was actually a great year to trade natural gas. It traded very well. It traded very well. But prior to that, it's been inconsistent, and it's been inconsistent. I've been watching natural gas for years and years and years. The reason I'm here is because I was interested in trading natural gas well before I knew about 10-minute trades. I was trading on TradeStation, and I was actually hiring programmers to write me software to try and trade natural gas. It was brutal, brutal to trade natural gas too. It was very, very volatile. Natural gas had moves. Let me show you. This is going back to 2021, and I've showed this before in the room. I believe that this was 6 instant whipsaws on this event. It was a mind-boggling trade. Watch this behavior on the left chart. It's already done 4 whipsaw. It just never stops whipsawing. 20, 30 ticks at a clip, if not more. We actually traded that and had a normal stop, which was possibly a miracle. Possibly a miracle. Now, it's not trading anywhere near like that, but that's what natural gas traded like when I first got here. It was trading crazy. And even before, when I was looking to trade the news, natural gas is how I got interested in trading the news. Okay, let's look at another DMM, a different snapshot. This one was the end of May into the beginning of June, and it started to trade better then. That's when we could say natural gas has started trading better. Because if we look at the end of June, end of May into June, and into now, you could see if we side by side, we've got 4 out of 6 winners at the end of May and 4 out of 6 end of June into July, or we could say 3 out of 3 because last week was not a winner for us. Okay. So my plan on natural gas, unless there's a certain situation which does not exist today, hey Steve, um, it does not exist today. I'm not trading the breakout today. Um, I'm going to look possibly for an after the news trade, but I hear somebody at our door, folks, and I'll be back in 1 minute, so bear with me, please, and I'll be right back. Okay, folks, let me know you can hear me. I really apologize. Something really strange was going on outside of our office. Can you all hear me okay? Can you all hear me okay? Give me a heads up. Give me a heads up. Nobody's saying anything. Let me know you can hear me. Okay, sorry about that. So, what I was saying is natural gas, my plan for natural gas today is to look for a natural gas trade after the news. Okay? Very often, natural gas will change direction. Probably not going to look for a magnet because it just made a new high. So the magnet has already been done. All right, I've got a 30-second chart and a 1-minute chart. I'm looking at both. And the first thing I'll do is set up our breakout. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to click strategies. And I'm going to activate the trade at 10:29:58. We've got a bracket of 6, which is pretty unusual. It's a small bracket. That's what we've been using these days. And we've got targets of 10 ticks and 20 ticks. And those targets are appropriate at the moment, given that natural gas had 27 tick moves the last 2 weeks. If it gets bigger steadily, then we'll increase our targets again. We have had 30 and 40 tick targets for natural gas. But right now, I think our targets are appropriate. There also is usually a little bit of slippage with natural gas. There can be. Our stop is 12. Okay. The stop is 12. And if it hits my first target, I'll use the target one stop move feature to go break even -3. All right. So I've got a breakout. I'm just debating if I want to trade it in Buell-Knox because if you look at the last 12 weeks, natural gas has been trading very well. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to trade one contract. I'm going to go for 20 ticks. I'm going to trade it in my Buell-Knox account. All right, I'm going to go for the 20 ticks. So I don't need the target one stop move. If it hits target one, I'm out of the trade, right? I'm only trading one position. I've got my stop of 12. I've got my bracket of 6. I've got my trigger time of 10:29:58. I'm going to use a feature in the software. If the market moves 14 ticks, move my stop to break even plus 10. And I'm going to try to protect 10 ticks of that move. Okay? If the market moves 14 ticks, which is less than my 20 tick target, move my stop right above it, move my stop, break even X ticks. I put a 10 in there. It's going to move my stop to break even plus 10. And I'm going to trade that. I'm going to call it BRK, the breakout, and I'll trade it in my Buell-Knox account. All right. Apply it. We're going to check our bracket by looking at the time of 0. While we're on Sim, I've got to put my account back to Sim. I don't want to accidentally put myself into a trade yet. So I'm going to test my brackets in Sim. By enabling the trade with 0 time. And there's my brackets. I can manage the trade. That's what I mean. I want to be able to manage the trade, not all scrunched up brackets. So that looks perfect, right? Put my time back to 10:29:58, our correct trigger time. 10:29:58, and I'll apply it. Make sure I've got it labeled. I've got it labeled. I can see it break out. So put my charts on Buellnox, and now I'm ready for my breakout. I'm also going to set up, enable it. I'm also going to set up, also in Buellnox, after the breakout is over, I'm going to look for maybe a change in direction trade or a continuation, depending on what the news is. I'll put on one position. I was just thinking of something. One position for a target of 15, and I'll use a stop of 15 as well. Now I can't trade this until the breakout part of the trade is over, okay? Because it's the same instrument, same account. I'm going to label that reversal, reversal, but it could be a continuation. And I'll put that in Buellnox, apply it and OK it, enable it. And I noticed that my other trade is on Sim in the software, so I'm going to go back to the strategy and change the account to Buellnox, because that's what I said I was going to do. Account, it's on Sim, but I want it on Buellnox. Apply it and OK it. My charts are on Buellnox. My reverse charts are on Buellnox, and both trades are now enabled and we're ready to go. Looking at the levels on my right chart, which is my reversal continuation chart, maybe the VWAP is a possibility here, especially if it pulls down to the VWAP. That might be a great place to go long. Any pullback today might be a good opportunity to go long because natural gas is so bullish today. Okay? So if we pull back below the VWAP, it might be interesting to take a long also. Certainly, if you tested the low, which I think is too far away at 76, I don't think that'll happen. That would be a great long. I do want to thank everybody for watching us on YouTube. If you'd hit the like button, we'd really appreciate it. And now we've only got a couple of minutes before the news, and we'll see if we can get a target, one contract on the left side as a breakout. Okay? After this room, we will be back at 3:30 for Netflix earnings. All right, so now, and we will be getting up early tomorrow for American Express earnings. That'll be an early bird. And I did like the testing on American Express. I really did. Okay, we got 2 minutes to go. So we're just watching. The market has had definitely some volatility in it, right? It did a magnet before we got here when the market opened. 9:30 is a really good magnet set and forget time. Natural gas, take a look, right up. The only quirk in the ointment would have been that it tested it previously, not that long ago before 9:30. That reduces The magnetism. The magnetism is strongest when the time is longer from when it was last tested, within reason. I mean, 4 or 5 days, no. That's a whole different scenario. All right, our brackets will show up 2 seconds before the news, and then we're going to finish the breakout, and then we'll look to the other chart. There's our brackets. Now, I don't like the fact that there was a build, so I'm going to bring my stop up. Okay, so it got, it's very strange what happened, but hang on, all right? It only got $20 profit, and it's my own fault. I kind of screwed up the stop by moving it, okay? Now, forget that for a minute. Turn off the breakout. It should have hit your first target with no problem. I should have left it alone and let the stop move to break even plus 10. But as I was not thinking, to be honest, I interfered with my stop and screwed up that profit. So it was smaller. Nothing, no harm done, other than I made a little bit less. Now, what's interesting is there was a much smaller build than expected. They were expecting 27 billion. There was only 10. So this is like a drawdown, and it makes sense that the price shot up. It does make sense that the price shot up. I think, in all honesty, that I've missed the reversal, so I'm going to leave it be. Because if anything, I would expect the price to push up, not down. Because of the news, it should push up. Now, it's not a great level here, but let's take a shot at what's the worst that'll happen. It'll goof up my Buellnox account. Let's see if it'll push up because there is less gas around than expected by quite a bit. By quite a bit. It's pulled back. It doesn't look like I got it, though. It looks like it's not going to work. It does look like it's going to fail. It's not 100%, but I don't like the price action. It is choppy. It is choppy. The news is on our side. There's and the bullish day could be on our side as well. Okay? So that's what I'm looking for. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. The pop was very good, and I kind of screwed the pop up. I hate to say it. So now we'll see if the after news bullishness continues. And, if it doesn't, I don't think we did anything wrong in this case because it pulled back down. And it's really good news should give it a push back. It is struggling, though. It is struggling. So if it doesn't work, I'll leave it be. I'm not going to change my stop. I mean, I'm tempted to put the stop below the candle, but it's below this candle, I think is reasonable. Let's see what it does. This is a very important minute or two. So it pulled off the high. It went, pulled down. The news is bullish. Natural gas is bullish. So now we're at our entry. I don't think we're going to get to the high. I would be pretty happy if we got halfway. But let's see. If it goes up, maybe I'll move my stop. I do not consider this a magnet because it already magnetized, okay? I'm definitely going to shrink my stop. There's no reason to take a full stop here. And I'm only looking for a couple of ticks, right? Not looking for a lot here. Put my stop below the previous candle, the wick, and bring my stop a couple of ticks above entry. And look at that. So we didn't lose. We didn't lose. Just made our expenses on that. You can't do anything about a strange little pull down like that. Okay? And I know what you're thinking. Oh, it hit your stop. I don't buy that. All right? Anyway, keep an eye on it, folks. See if it still pushes up. The price action, just not that great. The squeeze, not in our favor. A whole bunch of people made profits on the burst, so good for everybody. We will be back here. Any relationship between NG price movement and the NQ? I don't think so. I mean, sometimes we do see the indexes do what you're saying, Steve, but no, I don't think that's related to natural gas. I don't. I really don't. Because also it started a full minute after. I think it would be much more probable that there's other news going on that caused that. That's what I think. Okay, Steve? I don't think that would have been caused by natural gas. It's quite an interesting move though. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate everybody on YouTube for joining us. We really enjoy that people watch and come watch us on the stream. So hit the like button on your way out. Everybody in the trade room. I'm going to end the stream now on YouTube. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be streaming tomorrow as well.